Good morning, Southwest Florida, and thank you so much for tuning into the Off Script video podcast. I'm Shari Armstrong.
And I'm meteorologist Trent Eric. Amy thought she deserved some time off.
Yeah, we're going to give her a few days because
Okay.
she deserves it. That's what you're trying to say, right, Trent?
100%. Nobody works harder.
That's right. Good morning. We hope you guys are having a great morning. Hello, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on our website, OTT, streaming. We love that you're here. And also shout out to the people who watch on the replays because
a lot of people are busy at 10 a.m.
100%. And we appreciate you coming back and being like, let me check out the podcast. So shout out to you guys as well. We have a special guest. Don't say who it is yet.
Santa Claus.
Yes, I told you not to say who it was.
Sorry.
We have a special guest coming up. You don't want to miss him because he's one of our Fox 4 superstars. I just said it was a him, so I eliminated like a bunch of options.
Yeah, who did that?
Fired. So definitely hang out for that. But before we bring our guest star onto the podcast, there are a few stories that we want to tell you about, including this one, which had me speechless this morning when we were talking about it on air today.
Yeah, this one just kind of took the whole vibe out of the room
I know.
when we had it live on air.
Yeah, I know. And what'll be interesting about this, Trent, is on air you could hear this woman actually screaming. Oh my gosh, it's kind of even scarier in mute.
Yeah, because you and I have monitors about this big in the studio to
Right.
see her face. But
Yes.
yeah, she was blood-curdling screams. I mean, just screaming for her life there.
It's disturbing, and it's also, I was telling Trent, like, this is like every woman's nightmare. So this is an attempted kidnapping. It happened in St. Augustine. Essentially, this guy went inside of the convenience store here, he took a couple things, and when they went to approach him about not paying, he ended up snatching the clerk, as you just saw here, trying to get her inside of the truck. And what is kind of amazing here is there was a witness that was nearby who actually saw the whole thing. She heard the screaming. She was able to intervene and essentially get this woman like the help that she needed.
Sure.
And we're so like grateful for that because I feel like a lot of the times, Trent, we tell these stories and they don't have that ending of someone actually witnessing what happened and being able to come to this person's rescue. But the thing about this video that gets me, aside from the screaming, which I know you can't hear on the podcast, this happened in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Right. This happened in broad daylight where this woman is just like her life in an instant is possibly changing. And it's just like super, super scary. And we're just grateful that that person was there to intervene and get her some help.
You talk about it being a woman's worst nightmare. It's a parent's worst nightmare as well. And I always tell my little guy, hey, listen, if somebody were ever to grab you, whatever it may be, kick, yell, scream. Exactly.
That's right.
What she did. The
That's
more
right.
noise, the better.
Come on.
And, eventually he just gave up.
Yep.
And thankfully, like you said, the other lady was there to scream even more as well.
Exactly. And now he's facing a slew of charges, as you can imagine. He's in jail up there in St. Augustine. So we wanted to show you this video because a lot of people are talking about it, and also because like it is a talker as far as like what you're doing and what to do in those situations and making all that noise. Just really, her screaming was like, it literally, you're right.
It took
on
the
air
air out of
today.
the room.
Yeah, it is like, it's disturbing because it's just, you can hear the desperation in her voice.
And, she was trying to do the right thing, keeping the guy from stealing products. And it goes back to these convenience stores where these folks work. And it's like, do they get paid enough to be security
Ask
as
the right
well?
questions, Trent.
So
Yep.
maybe it's kind of a lesson learned too, like there's bigger fights to fight.
That's right. That's exactly right. All right. So that was St. Augustine. Let's bring it back to our very own neighborhoods. Part of what we do here at Fox 4 is we like to go neighborhood by neighborhood. We have community correspondents in most of the major neighborhoods here in Southwest Florida. Again, we have a special guest coming up on the podcast, one of our community correspondents. Do not reveal who it is yet. But I do want to take it to Cape Coral this morning. Shout out to our friends in Cape Coral. Good morning to you guys. If you're in the Cape, please let us know. Who is our community correspondent in Cape Coral?
Bella Line.
Just making sure you're paying attention.
Hey, I live in the Cape too. I know who my correspondent is.
Bella.line at fox4now.com if you guys ever have any concerns. But Bella has been keeping track of a lot of the construction and development. Have y'all driven down like Cape Coral Parkway recently?
Yeah.
It looks like a different place.
It's changing.
When I moved to the Cape, it did not look like that, okay?
No.
It was quiet. And now it's like there's all of this development. Look at Bimini, the Bimini project that's going on right now, okay? We got this inside look as to, if you've been seeing this development go up, we're kind of getting an inside look of like what you can expect to see and really live in if you move here. This is a 218 unit waterfront complex, and it is almost done in Cape Coral. Guys, It has a seafood restaurant. That's what you see here. They've got boat access. These people are going to be living great. They've got like a medical clinic, other amenities, and the rent starts at just $1,600 a month.
I couldn't believe that. I think it was 30 plus boat slips.
Yes.
The fact that you can go out and eat on the water every day, that you can afford to do it.
Come on.
Now, listen, I know you're a little bougie sometimes,
Okay.
and we like a good view,
Might be
but
true.
start to $1,600. Tops out at $4,000,
Yeah.
and considering the view and the square footage you would assume on a $4,000 a month rent, there's a lot to offer.
100%. I mean, you're talking about, I'm like impressed that a unit like this, you can also get the option for a boat slip as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of great options if you're looking at what's coming next for Bimini. They are leasing now, by the way. So if you're looking at this and you're like, that is nice. Well, you can go ahead and check it out maybe for yourself, see if it's an option for you to move in. And also we should talk about how long this project took. Because I know a lot of the times you see these projects go up and you're like, dang, that thing is taking forever to go up.
Yeah.
But they face some major hurdles with this going up when it comes to flooding, right?
Yeah, they have faced, flooding with several different hurricanes last year, Milton and Helene, but they are built above flood level. So that's key. So, a lot of these apartment complexes, especially close to the water, that first floor, you get a little nervous. Well, they did all the right things.
Yeah.
So as this one opens up, even though they were slowed down a little bit due to the storms, they built it the right way. They built it solid. You can see the concrete block foundation there. But what a view, what a place.
Yeah, I'm with it. So we want to keep you updated on the development in Cape Coral. You can also go to our website, fox4now.com, and you can find the story. Bella's got all the details in there, and she's covered a few of like the latest projects in Cape Coral. Definitely go over there and check that out. This next story is my favorite story. Sorry to our community correspondent that's here, our special guest, but this is my favorite story of the day.
It's a good one, but
did he mean that? Like I couldn't tell if you
it's
actually
good,
meant that.
but our special guest, one of his stories really gets me fired up. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. That's fair.
Am I dropping more hints?
No, yeah, kind of, but it's fine. It's fine.
Hey, you're the one that said it was a him.
True. I gave like half of it away. Yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad. So I'm just going to say, if you have been on Facebook or social media and you've seen, we have 2 reels now out talking about these cameras in Fort Myers Beach, some of the parks, 18 parks in Lee County. And if you've been fired up about that, we have the community correspondent who actually figured out exactly what was going on with those cameras, has all the details.
You just want to write his name? And
no, shut your face. I'm teasing it. That's part of my job is to tease it. Can you just help me tease it?
That's not a tease. That's a giveaway.
Whatever. Anyway, if you've been you gonna let me finish? Hey, Amy, when you want to come back, your chair is ready. Just kidding.
She's like, I'm never coming back.
No, I'm just kidding. But I just want to say we are going to be talking about those cameras because I honestly, I had so many people fired up. But you're right. You're right. Bring us back. Let's talk about the ice cream truck.
You need to cool down a little bit with a nice drumstick or ice cream sandwich.
Just talk about the ice cream truck.
I love ice cream. And hey, Northport Police, this was so cool to see Hunter's story this morning.
Yeah,
because
man.
the way he told this story with his video, it looks like a SWAT car. But look at these kids with ice cream.
Yeah, so this is Northport Police. They actually took it's an old drone van that they changed into an ice cream truck. A lot of police departments have these initiatives to connect with the community in different ways.
Sure.
And we love highlighting some of those. So shout out to the Northport Police Department for this. They have it at community events, and you can see here how excited the kids are and also how excited the officers are to interact with the kids in this way. Who doesn't love the ice cream truck coming around? Does the ice cream truck...
Does it still have the
music?
Yeah.
Every so often I hear it coming around.
Yeah. It's like Pavlov's dog every time. It's like I'm reaching for ones, I'm drooling, I'm like, let's go.
Good morning to Van, who says...
No.
Oh.
No. The van on the side. Can I see that?
Neha and Ali. We always like to tell you guys about our producers.
Right on the side of the van, it says, "You've been served." So yes, technically, Van says you've been served.
They always hold up a board when we have comments and stuff, and she put, "Van says you've been served," and I thought Van was a person in the comments.
The equipment was donated by locals. That's always good, and the treats were free, obviously.
Yeah.
But our director Jeremy made a good point that the officers should have said, "Freeze!" Just like the ice cream.
Jeremy, even though he's a dog dad, he is definitely in the realm of dad jokes along with Trent, Eric.
If him and his wife decide to have kids at one point, he has got a Rolodex.
Oh, my goodness. And Freeze is proof of that. But it was really good. It made me laugh
and
a
I'm
lot.
proud of him.
Yeah, me too. You, Chris Shaw, and Jeremy, all up in the dad jokes.
Yeah, and Van, they're good for good.
Van, I deserve that. All right, listen. So if you're just joining us, thank you for joining the Off Script podcast. I'm Shari Armstrong, along with our certified meteorologist, Trent Eric. And we have a very special guest that we are excited to bring on to the podcast. Is it time? Because I'm excited to talk to him.
Yes.
All right.
Let's go.
Please help me welcome our community correspondent who covers. I mean, you are the king of Fort Myers Beach.
You were trying to find all the adjectives.
Yeah.
If you live on an island, you know Anvar.
Yes. If you are in Fort Myers Beach, you know Anvar. If you
Captiva, Sanibel.
and if you're on TikTok, because people love his stories on TikTok, you know Anvar Ruziev. So please help us welcome Anvar Ruziev, our community correspondent for Fort Myers Beach and the surrounding areas, to the podcast.
And a lot of the beautiful drone footage that you see on Fox 4.
Tell him, Trent.
This guy, man, got more talent in his left hand than I do my whole body.
You were talking about Hunter with the shooting, and I do think we should acknowledge too, like Anvar with just like the beautiful shooting, like the drones, the tight shots. Like, you got it, Anvar Ruziev.
I appreciate that.
For real. How you doing?
Good. I appreciate the introduction. Very, very grandiose. I do love being on Fort Myers Beach, kind of just like a neighbor and just as a part of the community.
Weren't they having like a stream the other day? They were live somewhere, and I feel like the mayor, was it the mayor? Someone specifically mentioned your name in the middle of their stream when it comes to coverage, right? Am I making that up? Did I make that up?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, you're not making that up. That did happen. That did happen. Yeah, it's, if you're familiar with Fort Myers Beach, you're familiar with a very popular podcast there. Am I allowed to say their name?
Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's Beach Talk Radio.
Yeah.
He's shout out to him and kudos to him. He does a great job on Fort Myers Beach too. He was following the story about the cameras. He mentioned that, he gave me kudos for finding the story. And he was speaking to the mayor about it. And I thought that it was fascinating that the mayor didn't know that system was being implemented there
Man,
as well.
That's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, man, you broke the story to the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anvar, tell us about the story here, because people who may not know the story, they're hearing about cameras and the mayor.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, before these cameras, you go to Fort Myers Beach, you go to Lynn Hall Park, you go to Bowditch Point. You come in, you pull up, you do whatever you need to do, you pay for parking, and that's that, right? And it's no worries. But with this new system that's being implemented, you have 15 minutes to pay as you pull in. So when you pull in, the countdown starts, and after 15 minutes, a citation gets issued to you. And this was what the county told me. Originally, I actually got a ticket from this same system.
Get out of here.
I was very frustrated.
Is that how you found out about the story?
Yes, that was how I found out about the story.
Which park were you at?
I don't know if you guys remember, but the Pythian/Richards building,
Yeah.
when it got repainted, I was parked in front of it. In that parking lot, there was a technician installing those cameras while I was parked there. And I asked him, I was like, oh, are these going up? I was like, are these going to track license plate? And he's like, yeah, they're going to track license plates. I was like, oh, okay, awesome. I didn't realize that the system was already online, So as soon as he installed it, like that same day it came online, and then Chris Shaw comes up to me and he's like, we got a ticket for you. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry, I didn't realize.
So they're working. That was like your thing, like, so it's working.
They started working right away. But here's the thing is I tried to pay for the parking there, but it didn't accept. I found out it wasn't accepting the card, and I found out that was because of a zip code issue, like I wasn't entering the right zip code. But regardless, there wasn't a kiosk or anything that I could just like insert my card into. That was very, very frustrating to me. And then I emailed the county and I was like, hey, what's up with these new cameras you guys have? Like, I haven't really heard anything about them. There's not, a lot of, it says photo enforced, but, it doesn't say that, 15-minute rule or that the citation is going to be mailed or that there's a $50 fine. And I was like, is this system coming to, other parks in Lee County? Because I was like, that would be a huge story, right? And I didn't get an answer to that, so I didn't know. And then there was a press release about the change to the system, but nowhere in the press release did it mention the cameras, and nowhere in the press release did it mention the $50 citations, or the 15-minute grace period.
So how did you, and hello to Jacqueline McMiller, our producer Neha says you're watching, so hello to Jacqueline.
Hello.
Thank you for watching. We always appreciate you and your support for Fox 4. How did you find out then about the $50, the 15 minutes, all of that stuff?
Right. So I saw those cameras start to pop up, you know, and I kind of, when I first saw the press release, I kind of was like, this might be the same system. So I kind of kept it in the back of my head to keep an eye out for it when I saw the press release. And I basically saw those cameras go up, and it was probably within a span of the first day that I saw them. Like, so they probably went up, and then like the next day I was there because I'm always parked in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And when I saw those go up, I took a few pictures of them, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna figure this out if this is the same system, you know. So I reached out to the county, and I asked them, I was like, is this the same system, you know? And as I recall, because they vaguely explained it to me last time how it works, and as I recall, you know, there's a 15-minute grace period. Is that kind of the same case with the system? And they're like, yeah, it's the same system that's being implemented downtown. So
all right, so that was where we go off script, right?
Yeah,
get on our soapbox,
Do it.
and let's talk realistic things. What I didn't like about the story, after I heard your story, I was like, there's been no education. The signage was lacking. It should have been completed with a sign that told about the new rules and, hey, there's a grace period, but starting August 1st, we're going to start implementing the fines. And the fact that it goes from 15 to 50 and you only get a 15-minute grace period, Amy and Shari and I were talking like getting kids out of the car. Sometimes you enter the lot, you're giving someone else time to back out. Maybe you have technical problems, like you were saying, like with a zip code or something's, you know, not working on your phone. And all of a sudden you're just tagged with $50. To me, it almost makes more sense where if they're going to use the technology for license plate, when you pull in, charge a tag. Or if for some reason you're not able to pay, maybe it's a $20 because of a convenience fee or something. But to go to $50 and only have that 15-minute grace period, I personally think that's just absurd.
I was also very triggered by it just because I was telling them, like, sometimes you're driving in the parking lot and you're looking for a spot, and even sometimes within 15 minutes you can't find a spot.
Yep.
And I don't know if you have the answer to this question, Anvar. I know it's something that you're staying on top of and looking into, but a lot of people were asking, and I had the same question. So what happens if you pull into the parking lot, right, and like you can't find a spot or whatever the case may be, and you end up pulling
And
out?
you leave.
Does the system track like your license plate and know, like, okay, this, you know what I mean, like, or will they still get ticketed? Do you know that?
yeah, so they'll if they look for parking for more than 15 minutes, basically if your vehicle is inside the parking lot, because the system doesn't know if you've parked or not, you know, it just
Sure.
knows that you went in and how much time you've spent there and when you left, right?
Okay. So it's got the exit time.
Yeah, so there's two cameras, one on the exit and one on the entrance. And yeah, if you're looking for parking for more than 15 minutes,
Okay.
which I have done in season,
Yes,
you know, there's
of
that
course.
parking lot is filled. But if you're looking for parking for more than 15 minutes and you pull out, then to my understanding, as the county described it, you will get a ticket for that.
Okay.
And you know, that's creates another safety issue, you know, that I actually saw yesterday when I was sitting there. I'm sorry, the day before yesterday, is people are starting to go in from the other end. So people are driving
wow.
in from the exit now. So
Yeah.
that you know,
Avoid-
to
yeah.
avoid the camera, because the camera is pointed, you know, in a certain way that you're
Actually smart.
Shari's like,
I just want to be, I
I
know I
didn't-
should
I
not
think
endorse,
of-
okay, Neha's saying stop talking.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's not a good idea, but they pulled in really fast, you know, through the exit. And I don't know if that's, you know, to avoid the cameras or
Sure.
not, but that I can see people doing that if
Sure.
they're trying to avoid the cameras. and
have
that's
you been
a
able to
safety
keep up
issue.
with all the social media comments on your
Oh, yeah.
story? Because there's been a ton of them. And one of them was like, this is nothing but a money grab. And you got to kind of understand that when you look at the potential revenue that the county is going to bring in, $2.5 million annually is what they're expecting from that. And that's where you got to kind of wonder what the intentions are.
Yeah, so here's the thing about the 2.5 million annually. So that's 2.5 million annually on the contract that they have with premium parking.
Okay.
So I made sure to word that correctly. It's
Gotcha.
not necessarily 2.5 million more than what they're making right now.
For the regular people that are like, okay, what does that actually mean?
Mm-hmm.
I know you're really good at explaining that. Can you break that down a little more for, like, you know, people like me?
Absolutely, yeah. So I asked the county, I was like, how much more money is going to be coming out of the visitors' pockets and into the county coffers?
Love that,
So
Andre.
I specifically asked that. I didn't get an answer to that. But yeah, this 2.5 million is for the premium parking vendor that they're switching to. The previous vendor, I don't have those numbers for that specific park or for all the parks.
Yeah.
It all in the budget, it all just kind of gets lumped together. So yeah, when I asked for the difference of expected revenue, unfortunately, that went unanswered.
Got you.
So,
Got you.
and then I remember originally when I got the parking, I kind of the parking ticket. I looked into it and I thought about parking itself. Like what does parking even mean?
Ooh, ask the right questions, Anvar. Yes.
So to me, if you pull in and you're in an area and you're in the car, you're stopped. I think. I don't think you're parked. I think you're stopped. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. It's a way to think about
Sure.
it. But if I'm sitting in the car, right, which I do a lot, working from the vehicle and things when we're out in the community, when I'm stopped, in the car, like I can leave at any moment. You know what I mean? Like I'm not necessarily taking up that parking space in a sense where I'm taking it away from someone else, or in a sense that I am, like I have to pay for the ticket or have to pay for the parking lot because usually if I see the parking attendant show up, then I have the option to just leave.
Sure.
Right. So I think a lot of people do that, and they kind of mentioned that on the other talk show radio as well. That people like to pull in, they like to sit, they like to look at the ocean. Of
course.
They're in my opinion, and this is probably not the same opinion, but I feel like a person is stopped is different than when a person is parked. Like a person is parked, they leave their car, they lock it up, and that their property is sitting there now. But if I'm there with the property, I'm like, I don't feel like.
If I get a ticket, I'm going to say, Anvar said there's a difference between parked and stopped. Send this to him.
I know the community correspondent out here. Anvar, one of the other stories that you've been following for a long time is this flood discount for Fort Myers Beach. Where do we stand? What's the update with this?
Oh, actually, so I got a text from the town this morning.
Was this breaking?
Are
you breaking this on off script?
Possibly.
Yes.
So they did, it looks like they did wrap up the visit.
Okay.
And they wanted to give me an update this afternoon. So
Gotcha. So FEMA is coming back to Fort Myers Beach to assess the flood insurance reinstatement. Fort Myers Beach was removed off that, so they lost a 25% discount.
Right.
So that's a big deal. 25% at the beach with people struggling and recovering. Did they know roughly when they may have a decision?
Yeah, so it's going to be spring of 2026.
Okay.
My understanding is when the discount, because the countdown starts once the town is off probation.
Okay.
Which happened, I believe, in the springtime.
Okay.
So they got off probation, and after that, they have to wait 2 years.
And the other issues before were the unpermitted structures
Right.
and the poor code enforcement. So
Right.
Fort Myers Beach had to go back and make some changes. And this was a hot topic, when you first started this story as well, because it's like, my goodness, a town that was just reeling from Hurricane Ian with so many other big fish to fry that they couldn't get a little grace and, just direction and help from FEMA. But instead, it felt like the town was being punished even more when they needed that 25% to get back on their feet. So, again, my personal opinion there off script. So.
Agreed, 100%. That's to me like that is still a while. I know spring, the way that time's moving is going to be here like tomorrow, but it's still a long ways away to get like an update and to find out like how we're moving forward in that town. I feel like we're in limbo until then, unfortunately.
I was down there last weekend, and it was nice to see that so many businesses are coming back, and the restaurants, the Margaritaville Resort pool was just it was bumping. It was nighttime, and it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
But it was just good to see like life out of season, and Fort Myers Beach was back. So
were you at the Margaritaville pool bumping? Like, were you like because you said bumping, and I wasn't sure like if you were there.
Not yet. But I did learn that for $15 you can go in after 4 o'clock, and they have theme parties all summer long. So $15 gets you in after 4. So.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'll treat the community correspondent to a little party.
A little turn up at Margaritaville for $15. I'm with that.
Anvar, what else you got working out there? Or maybe not even Fort Myers Beach. What about the other islands?
Oh, yeah. One thing that I spoke with a gentleman yesterday. Basically, he got his house elevated. He got it put on stilts, and this guy paid, and he added pilings to his property as well. He spent $68,000 on that, and with the Lee Cares program.
Oh yes.
Part of the Lee Cares program, and there's Elevate Florida. They were talking about how they are going to reimburse people, for elevating their homes and all of these huge costs that comes to securing their homes from storms. And he's frustrated. He's frustrated because he hasn't. It's a large amount of money, and he hasn't seen that from the county. And I did read another article that was really good the other day about how how the county is allocating their $1 billion, over $1 billion that they received of federal money. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at right now is how that is going to be allocated, and the Lee Cares program has been huge in the coastal communities.
Sure.
So it's one of my favorite stories that I've done.
Yeah.
Was with Lee Cares. So.
Yeah. Lee Cares is so interesting because it provides like such a window of opportunity for people who need it, but it seems like a lot of the times a lot of people miss out on the Lee Cares opportunity too. So I love hearing like what you're talking about and kind of tracking, how people are using Lee Cares, the people who are able to access it, and how it's impacting them as far as rebuilding is concerned as well. I feel like a lot of the times when we put out Lee Cares information, a lot of the stuff that I do here when I'm not on air is I'm involved in the digital scene, and so I see a lot of the comments when we post certain stories,
Sure.
especially when we post like Lee Cares, and a lot of people will say like I tried to apply, and they allocation and all these other concerns or whatever. So it is interesting to see how people who actually get that funding, how they're able to use it, or the challenges that come after or whatever. So I appreciate that storytelling as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Anvar, great stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. We try to like ask our guests because we have community correspondents in each of the big Southwest Florida communities. What is your favorite part about Fort Myers Beach? I know you're really plugged in there. The people love you. They're even talking about you on different podcasts, which we love. But what is your favorite part about Fort Myers Beach? And if you have like a restaurant or like a hangout, what's your deal in Fort Myers Beach?
Well, my go-to restaurant on Fort Myers Beach is probably Bella Mozzarella.
Okay.
There you go.
It's like in a very convenient location for me, and I love working with the owners there, and the staff there is always awesome, and they've got vegetarian food, so
Love
shout out
that.
to them.
Love that. So you're saying you're vegetarian?
Yeah.
Okay. See, people didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Didn't know that
We
either.
like learning good stuff about you.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find good restaurants with vegetarian food, and I've tried out a few, but that one they are consistently awesome.
Love
There you
it.
go.
Love it. You want to shout out the owners?
Yeah, Melissa and Carlos. Keep up
Yeah,
the great
Melissa and
work.
Carlos. Shout out to you guys and feeding my vegetarian friend.
Yeah.
I love it so
and then
much.
as far as like the spots go of where to go on Fort Myers Beach, I love the Mound House. So like I went there on my day off one time just to kind of hang out and play guitar.
Love.
And just like there's such a beautiful tree there. There's like artwork,
Beautiful.
the Caloosahatchee
Beautiful.
tribes. And it is some of the most it's one of the most beautiful murals I've ever seen over there. And it's right next to the water and to relax, and it's free, So
Have you been?
I've only like seen when we've covered it. I have
Same.
never. Yeah,
I have not
I've
gone.
never
so
been.
You're
Yeah,
inspiring me to go.
that's right. Yeah.
It's a great place to stop and get some peace and relax,
Beautiful.
So hopefully, I don't ruin it for people because now everybody's
now
going to be
everyone's
going
going.
over there, but
I've got an
that's
8-year-old
my favorite.
Anvar. What is peace?
True.
Anvar's got a son. He knows.
Yeah.
And also, I did want to shout out that you just mentioned you play guitar. People might not know that about you as well.
Yeah, I love playing guitar. I'm like kind of musically inclined. So I play guitar, try to sing. My wife sings a lot too, so
Love it.
that's my hobby.
Love
Kind
that.
of like how flying drones used to be my hobby a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, not flying drones. This guy, when we did the story on the tornadoes out near
Colin
Lake
Trent.
Okeechobee,
Yes.
the footage came back in, and I was like, my God.
Yeah.
I've been doing this we talked about it this morning, 23 years, and I've never seen footage like this. I come up to this guy, it was probably weeks later, and it's like, oh no, I've got these new goggles, and I'm flying the drone like through the tree branches. Like if you watch closely on some of his stuff, he'll fly it in between fence posts,
Crazy.
but you have to have a spotter
Yeah,
when you do that, right?
I had Mahmoud as my visual observer.
So I was learning a lot, but I was just blown away by the footage because you took us into what was going on in that community after Milton. So keep it up, man.
Thank you.
I love it.
appreciate it.
You go, Anvar. So Anvar is going to be hanging out with us for the rest of the podcast. Feel free to ask him any questions as well. Or if there's a story that you feel like Anvar should cover, go ahead and let us know. Or they can email you at anvar.ruziev@fox4now.com, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, lovely. So we're going to move on to another story, which is kind of crazy. A 15-year-old was bitten by an alligator while swimming. Okay, we're talking about like unfortunately a very much like Florida story, which is like crazy. Why'd you guys laugh? Neha's laughing at me. She's often laughing at me. She's been roasting me since I walked in the door this morning. I don't know what's going on between us, but anyway. So do we have video for this, right? Can we show the video really quick? Okay, so that's not This is not the alligator. This is a file.
Is this a recreation?
But this is crazy. Did you see Anvar's reaction to that? That is like crazy. All right. The kid was attacked twice, dragged underwater, and then fought back by punching. But here's the thing: a friend helped pull her out of the water. Okay.
That's wild.
The gator then did not stop. It sounds like the gator then chased them after she was able to pull her out, but she's okay. That's the thing. That's the big takeaway from this story. And I do love that the producers put this question in here. What would you guys do in this situation? Because let me keep my thoughts to myself. What would you guys do in this situation? Your friends, you and your friend are chilling. Next thing you know, your friend is like in an alligator's mouth, essentially.
Right.
It sounds like this friend was like, let me help them, save them. Anvar, I believe you would do that. Trent, question mark.
Who's the friend? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I would very much go and try to help. For sure.
Yeah.
But you never know until you're like in
the situation. I agree.
But I've always been like car accidents, whatever you happen to come. I've always been a person that runs to help and not back.
I do
some people
truly
have that
see
role
in you,
of
Trent.
I'm going to call.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to call and help and kind of stay back. But this goes back to like having the kid and the kidnapping story we started a podcast with. Living in Florida, you have to teach kids a whole different skill set of survival, if you will. I can't tell you how many talks I've had with my son when we swim in the water. Like, if you happen to get hit by something, punch, poke, gills, eyes, whatever it is. And it just growing up in Indiana in the Midwest, we didn't have those kind of talks. Like,
it was a different life we live here in Florida.
Maybe snakes, something like that. But it's kind of wild.
It's kind of crazy. I would like to believe that I would be the friend that would like do something, but I feel like I would be in shock. Like I would freeze, So thank goodness for people like you guys. I mean, I spoke for you, Anvar, but I believe that Anvar is just such a good person that like I just feel like I can assume that he would help out. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be like,
jeez.
I don't know.
Changing her story real fast.
I just feel like I should give him the opportunity to speak for himself.
I've seen a lot of like alligator wrangling videos. I think those were a lot of fun to watch. I've seen a lot of law enforcement do that.
He's taking it home, is what he's saying.
So I kind of feel like I would, have somewhat of an idea of how I'd be able to help. And of course, I would jump at the opportunity to help with that.
See, I knew that about you, Anvar. I knew that.
Beating up an alligator in self-defense. That's
a great story.
That's a Florida man story.
That's going on the gram, right?
100%. And your TikTok. Anvar, it wasn't too long ago that you got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, wow, you're putting all my business out there. I'm not going to put like too much of it out there. But yeah, if you like it, then you should put a ring on it. Show them again, Anvar. That was great. I love that.
Boom.
So Anvar recently got married. You guys had such like an amazing, and I am going somewhere with this, I promise. But you guys had such an amazing like experience when you got married. Where did you get married again?
We went to Qatar to get married, to Doha. Yeah.
I followed every story like a stalker when you were posting it. It was incredibly beautiful. But did you guys honeymoon in Qatar as well?
Yeah, so we kind of consider that as like our destination wedding.
Love it.
So yeah, we're when it comes to like honeymooning, vacationing, we're like kind of budget conscious and like we're trying, in our economy today, like purchasing a home and things like that.
We know.
It's, exactly.
The struggle's real.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so you have to be like money conscious, which I appreciate. So
get to the controversy.
The controversy over what we're talking about here is people are changing this from a honeymoon to a family moon. So you say you're budget conscious. I'm a little curious what you think about this now. A lot of people are saying, you know what? We're gonna turn this honeymoon into like bringing the family along, bringing a friend along. We're seeing this amongst a lot of Gen Z newlyweds. And I'm curious if you would bring your family on your honeymoon. What's interesting is your family was actually there then, because you had a destination wedding and then you brought like some of your family members. So you kind of did have like a family moon.
Yeah, but immediately after the wedding, we did kind of break off and we like rented our own place and things like that. So we did kind of have like our own privacy and stuff like that. Yeah, because I feel like, the wedding is part, like if it's a destination wedding, I'm all for bringing your family.
Yes.
But if a honeymoon is something I feel like is a little bit more, intimate between the two people that are actually getting married.
Agreed.
So it's that time to like celebrate that love with each other.
Agreed.
Versus, you know, celebrating with their family, which
Yes.
is like what, you know, what the wedding is for. But you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
You know, if someone wants to celebrate with their entire family,
We're
and
with it.
everyone's agreeing to that,
Yeah.
then why not?
Yeah,
right?
we're with it. What about you, Trent?
I agree. You know, to each their own for sure. But I just envision like, okay, I'm getting married in Fort Myers, but I'll see everyone, including Grandma, in Tahiti. Like, you know, and then you're out with a cocktail, you know, making out at the sunset at the beach, and like, oh, sorry, what's up, Mom? Like I don't know. It's just something about you start celebrating with your person, right?
Yeah.
So. I don't know about all this.
Yeah.
And it's Gen Zers that are doing
It's
this?
the Gen Zers.
It remind me of the age of Gen Zers. Neha?
It's
What
our
are-
producers, Neha and Ali.
Allie? What are Gen Zers? They're too young to even know.
I'm just curious, is that something you guys would do? Or would you do that? Yeah. Neha said.
You couldn't say that word on this microphone, so that was a strong opinion.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
and Allie's also shaking her head. So we're not like too off, but I do appreciate what Anvar said. Like to each his own, whatever floats your boat.
And I do agree with the destination wedding. If everybody's there and you're
Yes.
celebrating,
Yes.
fine. But I think at some point too, like you break off, right? For even if it's just a couple of days. But all right, well, at least I'm not the grumpy old man on that one. I'm still grumpy and old, but I saved you the trouble of saying it, Shari.
Speaking of traveling, we're seeing like a lot of potential changes when it comes to changes at the TSA, right? You guys know with the shoe policy,
Right.
And how like the shoe policy before it was like, all right, if you have pre-check, go right on in, it's all good. But now they're like, everybody go right on in, it's all good. And we're seeing like more of the conversations around potential changes amongst the TSA. And it looks like DHS secretary is hinting at possible changes to TSA liquid rules. You know, right now you have to like keep the little tiny, like 3.4 ounce containers.
Yep.
But that could be changing soon. And we could also see other changes like coming down the line. It's interesting because like we've lived this life, I'm going to say like post 9/11, right?
Absolutely.
It's the post 9/11 life where there are all of these restrictions. And we saw that incident with that guy with the shoe bombs.
Read, right?
Yes,
Yep.
right. You know, so then we saw the shoe policy in place, but we're in this time where the TSA is taking a look and saying, what do we really need and where can we cut some of our policies?
Safety, flying, and traveling, keep it. Like, you know, I'm okay being inconvenienced if I
Yes.
can get from point A to point B safe. And honestly, I'm kind of getting used to the liquids in the little bag because now they're all
It's all
confined,
there.
and I can check deodorant, toothpaste, whatever, and it's kind of become so routine that it's convenient.
Right.
But, yeah. Oh, Renee,
Ooh.
Renee wants to know IU or Purdue. I grew up in Indiana.
Good question, Renee.
So I grew up as an IU fan. I went to Purdue my freshman year, transferred back to IU. So kind of both, but Hoosiers for sure.
She said Bloomington is the correct answer.
Bloomington's what?
Wow, you got it wrong.
Bloomington is the correct answer.
Say it one more time.
Bloomington's the correct answer. According
Yes. See, Renee and I get along.
Wait, I thought you just what is Bloomington then?
That's where Indiana University's at.
Oh, got you.
IU.
Oh, nice. Okay. Shout out to Renee. Renee,
My new bestie.
how did you know Trent was from Indiana?
I said it earlier in this podcast.
Oh,
Thanks
sorry,
for listening.
I wasn't listening to you guys. Sorry. I was just keeping the show going. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Sorry.
Love
okay.
you too.
Anyway, we definitely have talked a lot about Fort Myers Beach, but again, we try to go neighborhood by neighborhood as much as possible. And we want to shout out the Immokalee Foundation, their learning lab. Victoria did a really awesome story about this. Students building real homes in Immokalee. I love these stories so much where they show like STEM programs and not just talking about STEM in the classroom, but making it real for students in our community. So shout out to the Immokalee Foundation for this. They are providing hands-on training through like learning labs, and they're partnering with organizations like iTech to make this possible for students in our community. Also, shout out to Collier Enterprises, who's helping to make this possible for students to get that hands-on experience. Guys, I keep saying with like AI and all of these things, those hands-on like techniques and skills are really like so important these days. Learning how to make those things happen, because I think, you know, AI can replace us, right? Like there are AI podcasts. We all know that. But like, can AI go out there and build a home?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right?
They can 3D print them now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
right, right. But I can't tell ChatGPT go build me a house like in an hour yet, you know?
Yeah. Some robot pops up, walks over. Yeah, sorry.
Right. And so not yet, but so I'm grateful that students are getting these opportunities, and we wanted to shout out this story. It's on our website, fox4now.com. You can find Victoria Quevedo's story. She is covering the Lehigh Acres community, also Immokalee, and the surrounding areas. So if you have a story, definitely reach out to her because she's doing a great job of telling. We obviously try to tell all different types of stories in the communities, and we love telling these stories. So shout out to Victoria, and if you'd like to learn more, you can go to our website, fox4now.com.
Yeah, this next little topic we want to bring up, this is where the grumpy old man will come out, because when I grew up in Indiana, second time I've said it, know the state, we didn't start school back until the first week of September, usually after Labor Day. My niece is in Indiana. She goes back on July 30th now. So, like, what
Whoa.
in the world happened to summer break? I think summer break needs to be longer for these kids, but that's just me. When we didn't have air conditioning in school and we walked uphill both ways in the snow.
That was a long time ago.
It was a very long
Yeah,
time
that was a
ago.
long time ago. But
anyway.
it does feel like the summer is
So
shrinking.
short because
Yeah.
I was in Target the other day and it's all the back to school stuff
Yeah.
now where all the seasonal stuff's and I'm like, we just had July 4th and also Costco has Halloween stuff out. So I'm very confused.
It's true.
Very confused.
You are very passionate about this because you were the one who told me that Costco has Halloween stuff out. Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
It's that time of year for sure. You're already in back to school mode at
Yeah.
home. Yeah. And so we like to highlight some of the events that are going on because Anvar brought up a great point. Like things are expensive right now.
Yep.
And so, all of us could use a little hey, here's some support because also that back to school list for some families is super long. I do want to say I have been seeing in some of the groups that we're in, like the Lehigh group and stuff, I've been seeing schools that have been sending out notices in like Class Dojo that say we're covering all of your back to school list supplies with the exceptions of backpacks. So there
wow.
are some schools that are in our community that are like, listen, don't worry about bringing in the tissues and this and that. We're going to cover it. So shout out to those schools and whoever is behind that, making that happen. But there is this back to school event this weekend and it's hosted by Goodwill. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, July 18th through the 20th right here in Southwest Florida. They are giving discounts on all their secondhand clothes, backpacks, shoes, any kind of even dorm items for those going off to college. And hey, Goodwill has some good stuff in there. Might as well go get it not only discounted, but discounted again on the back to school special. So like you said, anywhere you can save a buck or two because those school lists are getting longer and longer.
100%.
My little guy's going into third grade this year, and I was like, you need all this? This is pretty wild.
The list gets longer, I'm telling you.
Pricier.
And Allie, I want to ask our producer, Allie, really quick, because there's the discount, like a portion of the proceeds is actually going to another organization. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. I believe Amy sent this story, and so she wanted us to know that when you make those purchases, not only are you getting a discounted price, but you're also helping a local organization as well. Okay.
93 cents goes back to it though. Every dollar.
She's saying
wow.
93 cents goes back to that particular organization. I'm so sorry, Goodwill. You guys know I love you guys so much. I've emceed a couple of their events. So they're probably like, sorry, good Lord. And Amy has too. But it's on our website, the Goodwill story. So look for that. And shout out to Goodwill for doing another good thing in our community.
This last one you need to wrap up because this is like something you may go to.
Or Anvar, because he's one of our
More fashionable people, for sure.
people on air. He's like more fashionable than me. In fact, my mom is always talking, like, Anvar had this suit on with this color. I'm like, Mom, you're my mom.
Your mom doesn't like my shorts and flip-flops?
She thought you were wearing sneakers before, but she liked yours.
Yeah, those are actually
They're
Cole,
not
those
sneakers.
That's probably the most fashionable thing I own. They're Cole Haan dress shoes.
That's not true. You got new suits and they're pretty fly. He got new suits. I don't know if you noticed, but they look good.
Just need to get him a little bigger. That's the reason.
So this last event we want to tell you about, I don't know what you got going on this weekend. You got plans this weekend, Anvar?
We're thinking of going to Honeymoon Island and visiting. That was like, yeah.
This guy, man.
We got a recommendation because we like to travel all up and down the coast and visit.
Yeah.
Probably I think almost every single beach we've been to, starting from like Clearwater down to Everglades City, which I didn't see a beach there, but all down the Southwest Florida coast.
That's goals there. That's awesome. That's incredible.
Yeah,
fun,
man, I
so.
love that, Anvar. That's awesome. Well, for anyone else who's not having as cool of a weekend as Anvar, there's another cool event that we want to tell you about. This one is called Detailed Threads, and they are calling it a runway fashion, not a show, but an experience.
Okay.
And they have 3 companies, essentially 3 creators that are behind us, and each of them have like handcrafted garments, handcrafted clothing, sorry, that they are going to be showcasing. It's going to be like an experience. They're going to have a DJ and performances and all of that stuff. It's going to be like a cool arts vibe. Can I tell you something? The arts scene in Southwest Florida is like evolving so much.
Growing.
I went to an event the other day, shout out to Residence. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but it was at the Alliance for the Arts and it was packed. And the energy that these performers brought was excellent. They were adults too. A lot of the times you see like
Nice.
kids dance classes, they were excellent. So shout out to Residence and shout out to these guys for this amazing experience that they're bringing. And we also want to mention that Miyoshi Price, our Fort Myers community correspondent, is emceeing this. Is there anyone, no offense Anvar, but is there anyone more like perfect to MC a fashion experience than Miyoshi? Anvar would be on the list for sure.
You're up there as well.
No, I'm not. I have been rotating like the same anchor dresses for like 7 years.
Oh, I was just talking like energy MC.
Oh,
But
thank
you're-
you. Okay,
but
right.
you're right. Miyoshi's got a little. She got that California flair.
She's got that thing, you know? So she's going to be emceeing this event. She's super excited about it, and she wanted to make sure that we pass it on to you guys. And I want to say one more thing about the picture behind you. This girl right here, she's so beautiful. Her name, oh my gosh, Mashari is her name. I just feel bad that you have to keep leaning, so I'm not going to point at it anymore. Come back. Her name is Mashari, and she's so beautiful and grown. I've known her since she was 7 years old, and she popped up in this picture, and now she's got her own business. She's creating clothing, and so shout out to her and all of these creators creating a great experience that you can check out this weekend. The details are July 19th, Saturday. They've got pre-sale tickets, VIP experiences, all the things. And Miyoshi says you can just find it on their website. You can go to like Eventbrite and search the event and you can find it.
$65 includes bottomless drinks and reserved front row.
I do like that you had to bring that up closely to look
Well,
at.
no, I was just making sure it was right.
Yeah, no, it is right.
If we were doing it for the eyes, it'd be more right.
Also, I do want to say $65 is actually a reasonable VIP experience with all of that
with
stuff.
drinks,
so
absolutely.
yeah,
That's why I was
Yeah.
like, is that missing a one?
yeah, for real, it's cheap.
Yeah.
So shout out to you guys and shout out to Anvar for being on our podcast today.
Oh,
Yeah, enjoy Honeymoon Island this weekend too.
for having
That's
me.
incredible.
Appreciate
Man,
it.
kind of jealous. That is awesome. And do you have plans? I should ask you. I just always assume that you don't. But yeah, watch this, Trent. What are you doing? Hey, Trent, what are you doing this weekend?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But have fun doing nothing. And for everyone else, tomorrow it is Baby Friday. So have a great Friday tomorrow. Our podcast is only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
What'd you say tomorrow was? Friday?
Isn't tomorrow Friday?
I think you said Baby Friday. Sorry.
Today's Baby Friday.
Yeah, okay.
Today's Baby Friday. So have a great Baby Friday. Enjoy your Friday. And also, Amy puts out a 4 things to do every weekend. That is going to be up on our website. And it's great information if you're looking for other things to do. Definitely check that out. She might be on vacation, but homegirl still dotted all her I's, crossed all her T's, and still put it out there. So look for that.
And if you're looking for a 5th, try nothing. It's amazing.
He does it every weekend. So there we go. Have a great day, Southwest Florida. And thank you for watching our Off Script podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.